Broadcasting live from downtown Las Vegas, you're tuned in to Guerilla Cross Radio.
This your host, Dre Bailey, man.
Sherman the building.
Yes, sir, man. This is what we do, man. We give you guys the best of sports talk radio, man, every Saturday at 2 p.m., every Tuesday at 6 p.m., man. We appreciate everybody chiming in to Let the Ball Bounce Sports Talk Radio, man. We love you guys, man. LTBB in the building. Download that Guerilla Cross app on your phone and follow you guys. Follow everything that Guerilla Cross has to offer, man. I'm telling you. Unnamed Sports, Girl Chat Sports, Let the Ball Bounce Sports Talk Radio, and a host of other Christian shows that may be going on the Guerilla Cross app, man. We appreciate everybody chiming in, man, and taking a little bit of time out of your day on a Saturday, man, to spend with the Let the Ball Bounce Sports Talk crew, man. Sherm is here in the building, man. And ladies, he's not wearing gray sweats, but he's wearing a gray top. So it gives you the same effect, but with the top portion of the body. You caught some flack a couple of times wearing gray sweatpants into the show, man, and people who were chiming in on the live, man, it was just driving them crazy. So I'm gonna need all of the ladies to hold your hormones in check, man, and pay homage to my guy Sherm over here. He put the gray top joint on, though.
No, you know what? Don't hold the hormones. Let them out. Let them out. Wherever you at, bus stop, in your living room, if you're at the salon today, go in and let it out.
Man, salute to everybody who at the bus stop listening to us, man. I think that's pretty dope. I mean, to take time out of feeling miserable because you have to sit on the bus with somebody stinky, sleepy, too big, too small, white, black, Asian, whatever your racist thoughts creep into your mind, we appreciate you.
Are people still taking a bus with Ubers and everything now? Mark, what you think?
There's a lot of people. I mean, it's not really expensive to ride Uber. Let's just be.
Yeah, but if you have to take Uber or the bus, if you got to take public transportation to work every day, that adds up.
Yeah.
So, but they doing it in other major cities, though. You know, people getting rid of cars just to take Ubers and Lyfts every day.
Well, let me tell you, anytime I go to Miami or anytime, I haven't done it in Long Beach yet, only because I make certain moves. I'm not trying to have an Uber drop me off in Compton and then come back and pick me up. I want to be able to leave when I want to, so I rent a car. You know what I mean? Like, I'm in Watts and stuff when I'm out there. I'm in Melrose when I'm out there. I'm in North Long Beach. I'm in East Long Beach. So... You know, anybody looking for Young Dre Day, I mean, if you in one of those 6 spots, you'll probably be able to find me. But yeah, man, I don't move too far through Cali, but when I do, man, it's always with my daughter and hanging with my daughter and just, getting out doing things like that, maybe visiting friends and stuff like that, man. So we appreciate everybody from all over the place that's listening to us, man. Like I said, whether you're on the bus, Long Beach, Atlanta, we got a person in Nebraska that hit me and told me that they was listening to the show, man. So that's pretty dope, man. We trying to get worldwide with it, man. Chicago, New York. We had somebody in Costa Rica listen to us.
Really?
Yeah. So
that's dope, man. We really going over borders.
Yeah.
Overseas, especially when they're supposed to be just chilling in Costa Rica or something like that, but tuning in to get their sports Jones on.
Yeah. Big ups to Bill Logan, Mr. Controversy himself, is working at Young OT. That means he's putting more chipperies in his walleto. I don't know if that's how you say wallet in Spanish. I may have just butchered it, but he's putting more money in his walleto. That's how I'm gonna say it.
Wallet.
I don't know.
Mucho dinero en wallet.
Right? You know what I'm saying? Big ups to Goose out in Legoland. showing the entire social media that he is hanging out with his young daughter, man. I don't know how old she turns, man, but she is old enough to go to Legoland and go out of town. How dope is that? Is that what that is?
That's wallet in Spanish.
Say it one more time.
Walleto.
Say it again.
Billetera.
Okay, I like walleto.
That sounds better. Yeah, it makes more sense.
So they need to change it. We
need to say it like that.
We gotta ask Trump to talk to Mexico to change
my goodness,
wallet
man.
to walleto.
Leave it up to a white guy to bring up Trump. I was never gonna bring him up until we just brought him up, man. So
ain't he in town?
Build that walleto.
Yeah. It's Trump.
Build that walleto.
Walleto. Build that walleto. I'm done. That is the word of the day. Today's word of the day is walleto.
Oh man, build the wallet. Walleto.
Today's word of the day, walleto. Please let us know how you would spell it.
Everybody call in, use that word in a sentence.
Yeah, please. Come up, call the show, 702-608-3259. Once again, that number, 702-608-3259. If you're watching us live, the actual number is on the screen. Give us a call, man, and use walleto in a sentence for a nice prize, a gift. But yeah, Goose is out in San Diego, man, spending time with his daughter, man, for her birthday, man, and that's big ups, man. We don't talk about it enough of us fathers who are actually there in their kids' life. Now, although there may be other fathers out there like me who don't really want praise because that's just what we're supposed to do, right? But, you know, sometimes it's okay to pay homage to those people who are doing things the right way. It's okay to pay homage to people who are doing things the right way. I'm going somewhere with this, people.
Go ahead, go with it.
I'm going somewhere with this, people. I'm not here to preach to you or anything, but it's okay to pay homage to people who are doing things the right way. Kind of like how you go on your job and you're there every single day. You're even staying working overtime when the boss asks you. You're picking up shifts and you get a raise. That is your boss, the organization, the business showing and paying homage to you for doing things the right way, right? So that's what we all try to strive to be, right? And you know, I can't say it enough, man. It's so heavy, and I'm gonna and Sherman and I are going to explain why and how heavy on a lot of people's hearts that Nipsey Hussle has passed so violently the way that he did, and what he meant for a community that I don't even think Nipsey Hussle knew how much he reached the actual community. I can't even really sit here and tell you he knew that this many people love him like that, right? Or he could have felt all the love, is why he felt so comfortable to hang out in front of his own establishment. Nipsey Hussle lost his life tragically a couple weeks ago, man, right before the social media eyes. And the entire community, at least from my perspective, is mourning the death of someone who was doing things the right way. So now we're paying homage. There are people all over this country who are paying homage to a man who's doing things, or who did things the right way, man. And it hurts. It hurts, man, to see somebody so young get taken from us, that has so much promise. I don't even think he knew how much promise he had.
You know, the thing about it is that not a lot of people knew that he was doing so much activism within the community, and not just talking about uplifting people, but giving back, showing that the community that he grew up in, and even though the lifestyle that you can get pulled into as far as gang life and the street mentality, you can still elevate beyond that, and you can still go back in there and help pull people out. See, one of the problems that I feel that we have in our communities is there's not enough people who are willing to come back and lend a hand to help people get out of the trenches that they may be in. But that was his entire mantra. He opened up his shop there. He documented the streets that he grew up in. But he didn't shy away from where he came from. See, a lot of people will put that in their past, and sometimes rightfully so. You know, that was who I was. He was saying, no, that's who I was, that's who I am, but that's what made me who I am. And so what I admired about him was that. But the tragedy to me is that these things are just now coming to light in his death, instead of coming to light when he was living. And that's, to me, that's the most heartbreaking part, because we see that on social media now. Everything that he's done, people are like, man, I never knew he did that. My son, 19 years old, is into hip hop, but he never listened to Nipsey Hussle. And he hit me up the other night. He was like, Dad, I'm mad that I never listened to him. I've listened to I got this rapper and all these artists that I enjoy. I never listened to this man. And I told him, well, you can't fault yourself. I mean, that you didn't listen to him before, because it's not necessarily the music, but look at the movement. Look at the movement that he did.
Right.
And then pattern that.
You know, I'm going to play devil's advocate for a moment. What if you have certain people who've made it out, certain people of certain stature, that are afraid to come back and leave themselves vulnerable to be touched, because maybe they may end up like Nipsey?
You know, the sad thing about our community, about our people, is that we become our own worst enemy in a lot of facets. When I was just talking about pulling people out of those trenches, well, you got an equal amount of people trying to pull those same people down while you're pulling them out. I remember Harriet Tubman saying that I could have freed a lot more slaves if only they knew that they were slaves.
The mentality.
So Nipsey, he said, I'm going to come back and try to help out people. And it was the same streets that he was trying to help that ended up snatching them. And that's why a lot of people say, you know what? No matter what good I do in a community, there's going to be people who still say, oh, he think he's better than me. Look at him. He's showing off. He ain't for the people. There's always, and me and you talked about this today on the phone. For every person that you have who loves you, there's another person that hates what you've done.
And that's a fact.
And in that circle, that's why a lot of people keep their circles tight. That's why a lot of people make moves in silence, because there's too many people plotting on you. And I can't speak for other races and nationalities, so I'm going to just say this as a generality, but it doesn't seem like other races have that same mentality the way that we do, and that's what's sad.
I'll tell you, it is maybe not the same way, but I think that goes from living in the ghetto to the highest level of business. People still have that same mentality.
But to me,
you're still gonna have people that are trying to bring you down. Maybe not is that like I'm gonna try to kill you type of deal. But I do want to see you fail. I do want to see you die. I'm not going to be the one to kill you, but I want to see your business die. I want to see your, like even on my level, I got people trying to do the same thing that have like hated on what we do here and try to, oh, they're not doing this. They're not, like I'm a Christian. I started the station starting as a Christian radio station. I got other Christians trying to bring me down. That's why I even switched it to positive hip hop and sports. So the Christian people, like even in that realm, in the religious realm, you get that stuff. So I think there's just a jealousy and a hate for other people among people that aren't successful, that want to do what you're doing, but don't want to put in the work that you're putting in.
And I think I understand what Mark is saying, is that there's going to be some type of hate at any level. Like he said, whether it's at the poverty level or up where George and Wheezy is at. There's always going to be a level of hate and some type of way to pull people down. But this is my thing as far as giving back and actually making yourself be seen and touched. Don't give back to the hood if you're not willing to put in the work. And part in putting in the work is going back, being touched, talking to people, figuring out where you can help. If you are afraid to give yourself up a little bit for that, don't do it. Don't even talk about it. We all cannot use Nipsey's tragedy to still be afraid to go to those places and try to pull someone out, man. I don't feel that you can give the type of love that you want to project on someone by not meeting them or touching them or being involved or wanting to be involved in what they do in the community, man. I think it takes a village, man. I can't be the only person that's lifted myself out of the ghetto and be the only one trying to give back. It's gonna have to take a collective energy, not effort. It's gonna have to take an energy, because you had the energy to get out of bed today, right? It's gonna take an energy to give back the way that we can. We can't do it by ourselves, brother. Nipsey can't do it by himself. All of those people, and I commend you, all of those people who showed up and showed out and who have participated in every visual, candlelight visual, just meeting of the minds over the Nipsey Hussle tragedy. It should have been those same amount of people with Nipsey as far as donating their energy and time back to the hood also. It should look like that every day on the streets.
So can they do that now that he's gone? Can they step in?
This is one thing I don't do that. And this is one thing I don't want. I don't want everybody to come together for a week and a half or two, and then when he passes, go about their own business. It's gonna have to take some type of consistency.
And unfortunately, we see that all the time,
right?
With everything.
You have to be consistent, right? You have to be consistent in order to see results.
Reality is this, though. There's people who I'm a public speaker, and there's public speakers who job is to get you energized and rah and to go out into your business, but it's like an energy drink, right? You said that same energy. That energy drink has you high for the first couple minutes or hour, but it slowly drops. So, of course, people are going to have the energy today, and as he has his memorial service, but it's going to slowly dissipate. We have to know that. But what we can do as we go our own separate ways is to create that energy within that way. When you think about the human body, we're all made, we're men here, right? But at our core, we're made up of little molecules, and those molecules are formed and shaped together to create the man that you are. So we need to each individually go out and be that molecule in our own little neighborhoods, to where you're doing it, I'm doing it, Mark's doing it, and everyone else is doing it on a small level, but from a higher up level, it looks like one masterpiece together. That's the only way that this is going to change. And maybe the flip side of it, as you were talking about being a devil's advocate, there's other opposite interests that's designed to pull it away too, which is why we're talking about.
Right. And we can't project, because in my opinion, this would be not a perfect world, but a pretty decent one if every hip hop artist who's come from the inner city, and even if you're a white artist that didn't come from the inner city, you're reaching inner city youth, so you have an obligation also. So I'm talking to you too. And every athlete that's come up through the trenches of the ghetto or whatever hood you from, if we all gave back, everyone, I'm talking about a big percentage. There's a percentage of people who give back. I'm talking about raising that percentage. That's a start, man. That's a start. But we first need to change the mentality. Sometimes it's hard to change a mentality. But there's a saying, there's a slogan that goes around. You could take the person out of the hood, but you can't take the hood out of the person, or the ghetto, or whatever. However that's said, we have to change that. We have to change that. It's it is a possibility. It's okay for me to make it and give my kids a better life, but I still think I have an obligation to reach out to the next man. I do. And you should too. It takes just a little bit of energy to sit and talk to someone. We're not talking about changing every life. We're talking about the life that you come in contact with. You should be able to change that person. You should be able to change that person's mind frame, state of thought. You should be able to put a seed into that person. Like if I can't get that from you, the energy is bad. You know, every time I talk to you, Sherm, I take a little piece of something that you've given me that I haven't had before, right? And that's how it should work, vice versa.
No doubt.
In order to help each other grow. That's just me, though.
You know, part of society is negative, or at least the mentality is negative. So when you see somebody doing something positive, your first thought is, well, why are they doing it? From a negative standpoint. And, well, he's only doing it for money, or he's doing it for social media likes, or something to that level. And then and that's where the crabs in the barrel thing comes, because they try to nitpick at what you're doing and the motive in why you're doing it, instead of saying, you know what, okay, well, I like that positivity that he's spreading out there. I want to latch onto it, or maybe I can add this ingredient to what he's doing to make a better dish. Versus, no, you know what, he ain't, because I heard he said such and such. And so now that the whole movement starts to become diluted, because people find a negative reason on why you're doing what you're doing. At some point, man, we and it may never happen, all right, because we talk about this, a lot. It may never happen, and I don't want to be someone who gives up hope on it, but even in his death, I'm hearing, or I'm seeing on television, well, you know, it was bound to catch up to him, because, you know, he was a gangster. So it was about, you know, ignoring all the positive stuff that was said. That's what I don't like about it. We instantly go toward the negative toward it, instead of latching on to the positive that was happening.
And people that say that are people that don't know the situation really. You know what I'm saying? They get one part of a story and want to run with the negative. And unfortunately, that's how our media is in general. They want to run with the negative, and it sells better for some reason.
But, bro, I grew up on that side of the fence, right? But I'll be damned if I let that define me, right? I'm not going to be 45 years old getting caught up in some gangbang stuff, right? I got kids, I got a family, I got whole businesses, right?
Man.
But the bottom line is, man, the hood should be happy that he made it out. Because most people in the hood, if they had a chance to get out, they would.
And you know, another thing too, I think those are the things that need to be elevated. You and I talked earlier this week when we was at the park, you know, about the people that we know who didn't make it out, or they weren't able to allow that hood mentality to escape them, right? And how many people we know who aren't living today. But you grew up there. We grew up a mile away from each other. We grew up in the same neighborhoods. But I would say that you've been a success, right? So what was different for you to where you're able to get to this point in your life, in your career, family, beautiful family, wife and kids? What kept you thinking here versus, you know what, I'm gonna live this lifestyle?
Well, it started with a mentality and a conversation with myself that I had when I was a kid. I talked to myself a lot as a kid, mentally, and I knew that the first step was I was gonna do better for me.
Mm-hmm.
I can only control me. Now I'm a kid. I am a kid, like 10, maybe 9, bro, with these type of thoughts. And I knew that I wanted to be better for me. And then once I got myself better, then I started improving my surroundings. And then once I started improving my surroundings, I started improving my mental. I really had to work on my mentality, because when I was in college, man, I wanted to come back for spring break. Sometimes I didn't even want to be at college. Sometimes I wanted to drop out. Sometimes I felt alone. Sometimes I felt like I needed love. Sometimes, it was all different types of mixed emotions when a young man is out on his own. But I knew that I wasn't in the same place that I was, so it was unfamiliar territory to me at the time. And I learned how to adapt away from home.
So how did but you grew up on Donna, and there's so many influences there could have just pulled you. Or just sucked you in.
I always spoke for myself, though.
Yeah.
I've never been a follower. Now, I can hang with the best of them, but, hey, man, yeah, we going over here now. Okay, well, I'm going home. But, gotcha, right? So I was able at a young age to start making decisions for myself and not for or within the group. I've been in some scary situations, bros. But afterwards, I've always had those thoughts like, you know what if I didn't come here? And so when the next time came around, I didn't go, right? I started listening to the positive in me. I started listening to that positive voice.
Yeah.
Even though it was unfamiliar at the time. And I hope I haven't went over anybody's head, but that's just being as raw and uncut as I can put it. I started listening to the positive in me.
Right. And I think that's the key, man. We need more of that out there. We need to start elevating the positive parts, accentuating them, putting it out there for other people to be able to gravitate on it. Listen,
and being okay with being vulnerable.
Yeah, because think about it. What Nipsey Hussle did, the reality of it, it wasn't a cool thing to do. To say, because he didn't leave the hood, but to doing positive stuff is not the cool thing to do. It's a lot easier to join the crowd than to stand out, right? He decided to kind of carve his own lane. Unfortunately, it still ended up in the tragedy that we see, and that still may happen. But look at the spark that he started.
Yeah,
we're talking about nationwide. Look, we talking about NBA teams doing tributes, players doing tributes. We're
never seen
about
that
on our
before.
radio ever.
I've never seen that before. I've never seen a person with Nipsey Hussle's stature being celebrated in sports like that. I've never seen that.
And here's my whole thing. I think Nipsey, if he could see the reaction and the impact of his death, he would take that bullet again.
Maybe so, because this probably is what, in his dreams, he meant to have this type of impact. Of course, you want to be around to see it, but
listen, tragedy happens, and you're not going to live to see your impact, your whole impact in this world,
right?
And in people's lives. You know what I'm saying? Whether that be with your family, like not everybody has to change the entire world, but you could change the world by changing the people around you and stuff like that. You're not always going to see that impact, and that's why, we all die. So listen, man, if you can die and that's what the impact is going to be, it's tragic, but at the same time, hopefully a lot of lives are changed because of it in a positive way.
But I'm afraid to die. Are you?
I don't want to die young. But if I did, I'd want to know that the impact and the legacy I left was
40 years old young?
Yeah.
Is 50 years old young?
70's young. If it's not a natural age, it's too young.
Yeah.
I especially in a tragic way when you have, so much life ahead of you.
One of my favorite movies of all time, and we've all seen it. It was Harlem Nights, and Richard Pryor was talking to Eddie Murphy, and Eddie Murphy was talking about going to get Bugsy Calhoun, and he said, "No, you're 27. I mean, what? I know you're supposed to be this bad dude, but dying when you're young is not cool. You know what's cool is when you land in your bed, you got all your kids and your grandkids around you. When you die, then that's cool." So no, dying young is not cool. It's an unfortunate part of life, and the impact that Nipsey left on the community is great out there. And we talked about Big and Pac as well, and the impact that they left out there as well too. But man, I just wish that they can be around to see the impact and just watch it.
Yeah, it's so. I think this country as a whole, like JT Blah said, there should be a conversation. There should be multiple conversations. There should be, tons of conversation, man, on how to at least attempt to try to make the world a better place. Talk about it at least. At least if you talk about it, you can kind of manifest it and kind of make it happen, and then it becomes a part of you. Over the natural course of time. Just tragic. I know they announced his memorial because I don't know if they're gonna do a private viewing, and they may not even do a viewing. Coming from a professional standpoint, it really depends on the type of person, the artist that can kind of put the pieces back together, man. So they are having a viewing / memorial at the Staples Center.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
They should do it at the Forum.
That actually would have been pretty dope. And the Forum is still there. They still do stuff there. They still do concerts and stuff there. For any of y'all, even on our timeline, who really didn't, because I saw, I have family and friends who, let's keep it all the way 100. Nipsey, as far as a music standpoint, wasn't on the level of a Jay-Z or Drake or Lil Wayne, where you just see him in the mainstream media.
He was getting there.
Right. But I'm saying a lot of people didn't know him from that standpoint. Right. But if you're too, if you haven't read up or anything, one of the things that I'll just talk about, one of the things that he wanted to do as far as community, he was trying to incorporate more of the STEM or STEAM programs back in the schools in his neighborhood. Now, if you're not familiar with that, STEM is science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. And those are the core entities within schools that jobs are looking for. One of the things that I do with my own program is providing scholarship programs for children, and we focus in with the STEM program, and it can be called STEAM too, because you could add arts in there as well. But that was what he was doing. He talked about, listen, don't look up to me, don't look up to a Jay-Z, don't look up to a Michael Jordan or LeBron. Go look at Elon Musk. Go look at Jeff Bezos, the owner of Amazon. Go look at these people, Mark Zuckerberg. These are the people you should be shooting and striving for, because you should be trying to own, not just be the next rapper or basketball player, but be the next trendsetter when it comes to bringing something to market, something that people can use in their everyday lives. Open up some business, not just put a basketball or a microphone in your hand to rap or play ball with. That's what he was talking about. So if you haven't researched him enough, just take that part of it, because that's, as parents, those are the things that we want from our children, and that's what we would like to see within our communities.
And if you can't be that, be the best person that you can be. And I think that that is why the streets has such a stranglehold on Nipsey Hussle, is because he helped employ the streets. Yep. There were ex-felons and things that kind of reached out to him for job opportunities, and he hired them. and he gave them another chance. You know, even if it was something small as far as, you know, cleaning the property and things like that. That is what we look for in leaders. That's what we look for in the young youth and the young generation is kind of paying homage to those who've been through the game before us, made and had ultimate sacrifices, but need another chance because the world has kind of shut them out. And I hate hearing conspiracy theorists and people say, you know, Nipsey Hussle, you know, I don't understand why his boys didn't have no guns and blah, blah, blah. Well, if you knew who Nipsey Hussle was, he was a non-violent type of dude. He was non-violent. And having ex-felons work on the property, there was no guns. Yeah. This was a non-violent type of dude. He didn't, come on, man, he didn't have one on him.
I mean, listen.
Stop it already, man.
And low key, what I heard is he wasn't even supposed to be there that day. He usually had security with him, and he
just decided to stop through.
For a good purpose too. I can't remember the whole story, but I'll share it with you guys later. But that's why dude was able to get so close to him. He saw he didn't have security when he was there 20 minutes before, when he was trying to like, hey man, play my music, blah blah blah, and that's when he came back like, man, this dude doesn't have his people on him. And he knew the situation. He knew there weren't guns in that area. You know what I'm saying? That he'd be able to get away with that. But it's unfortunate, man. And I just want to say real quick to those people that are our age, that are like, oh, quit comparing them to Tupac. Like, listen, man, there's Tupac died 26 years ago, something like that.
23.
23 years ago. 23 years ago. A lot of these hip hop cats right now weren't even born. So this is their Tupac. Right. So don't be that old person that like, oh, it's not, you can't compare it. Yes, you can. This was Tupac for a lot of people in that community and a lot of people in the hip hop. Like people that knew hip hop knew who Nipsey Hussle was. So don't downplay these people that are 20 years old, 25, saying like, man, this is like the biggest, hip hop artist we ever lost, because in their mind it is.
Yeah, and it doesn't happen that often. You know what I mean? Now,
especially not with people that are impacting, the right. community like that.
And in that same fashion too. I mean, gunned down. It doesn't happen. Allow them. Sometimes, listen, people grieve differently, right?
That's very true.
Yep.
And Dre, you can probably speak upon this further than any of us can ever comprehend what you own in a funeral home, funeral business. But people grieve differently, and people have to come to rationalize what has happened in different ways. That's why I don't, when people say conspiracy theorists, listen, any theory is a conspiracy if you don't believe it.
That's right.
Okay, so I mentioned this on my page where whenever there's a crime, you if you were sitting there in a police station or with detectives, they all come with a bunch of theories. Right? Go back and watch Usual Suspects or Den of Thieves or any of that. They got theories of all these. But when a person doesn't believe, oh, that's a conspiracy. Or, more than one person involved is a conspiracy. My thing is, let people allow those theories to play out. And if it's proven that wasn't it, okay, that wasn't it. But at least on my timeline, I see all these ha, I told you it wasn't no conspiracy, look at what you look, I bet you feel stupid now. This man's life was taken. I don't feel stupid. But for you to come out saying this, I didn't see you post anything about this man's life based on what we're talking about right now, but yet you're quick to talk about pointing your finger at somebody who was wrong in their theory of what may have happened.
Yeah, and I think it comes with a lot of, just people just putting conspiracy on everything though too.
Okay.
I walked outside and I tripped. There's a conspiracy going on. Nah, man, you just clumsy as hell for a second.
They're out to get you. Them.
Right? Oh, the people who made the concrete, they knew dang well wasn't even. Come on, man.
You seen Tales from the Hood?
Yes.
You seen when the little puppet had his foot sticking out, he tripped the dude down the stairs? That's
I gotta tell you something. I went and looked at a whole bunch of little puppets too today too. That's where I was coming from. That's
man,
funny.
Boy, you stupid.
That's funny, man. Doggone nigglets, man. Come on, man. Come on, man. Underrated movie.
Hey,
I
if
think.
y'all haven't seen that, man, go get
Underrated
Tales from the Hood.
underrated
Go get
movie
Tales
from
from the
a mental state of mind. It's a lot of
Boy,
mental
stupid.
things that go on in that movie. But yeah, man, Nipsey Hussle, man, will continue to live on in me, and in the entire world who's grieving this man. And I just get really saddened that his kids can go on the internet and see how their daddy died forever.
Yeah.
How tragic is that, though?
Yeah.
Everybody cannot wait to be the first to break a story. You heard it here first. You saw it here first. But never take the time out to think about another person's loved ones. Come on, man. His kids will be able to Google him or whatever they do on the internet and find how and see how their dad died, bros.
But unfortunately, too, if you don't put those out, then those conspiracy theories really fly.
Who cares about what everybody else thinks?
We're in such a day and age now. Like, go to, I'm not condoning this, but you'll see any schoolyard fight, and nobody's trying to break it up. Everybody got the phones out. I saw a little fight in my neighborhood, girls fighting. Everybody sitting there watching them fight, but filming it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'm going to just be honest, man. Back when I was in high school, when there was a fight, I didn't have a camera to film. I just watched. But if I had a phone, I probably would film it. But I watched.
You're incriminating yourself when you do that, too.
I know, but I'm just saying, how many times you saw a fight happen in the lunchroom and everybody crowd around and stand on
That's
tables
true,
and
yeah.
chairs just to see the fight?
Yep.
Same thing.
Yeah, we never broke up fights. We saw girls getting their hair pulled out.
Oh,
And we kicked it.
in the high school I went to, boy, they were brutal. I remember one time, man, it was this fight. These two, I'm gonna say young ladies, man. These two young ladies had a fight. I was just getting out of third period on my way to lunch.
The Cimarron?
Cheyenne. I ain't want to say the school, but you forced me.
You have to twist his arm too.
No,
hard.
he just asked me a question. I just told him.
He could have said no to Cimarron. I didn't want to say it, but it was Cheyenne.
But this was the town.
And their names were...
I don't know that. Actually, I do. But one young lady got her extensions, curly extensions, pulled out. Okay, everybody joked, passed the little thing
Locks
around.
and everything, yeah.
And just made a joke of it. Okay. I went to lunch, man. Sitting down, hanging out, because I never really ate lunch at the school. I just hung out. And there's a couple people walking by with the girl's hair already braided into their head. I was like, no. This is tragic. This is tragic.
Man. That's so bad.
She's sitting in the dean with a plug on, but everybody who got that plug got a piece of it in their head. Scandalous.
Schoolyard fights, right?
Yeah, man. So with that being said, man, everybody got their camera and their phones out, man.
I know, man, but it's like you said, it's tough because his family, it's etched in history now. You can go back and watch their father, brother, son, cousin murdered. That's the society we live in. We can either just kind of embrace it or know that that's part of it. It's just tough to do so.
Become very desensitized to it.
Yeah. People, let's change the world that we live in. And when I mean the world, obviously you're one person. You're not going to be able to travel around the world and change it. But you can change the world that you live in yourself. The people who are around you, your kids, your wife, your husband, whatever. That is the world that you live in. So if you change that world, you create a great world within your network of family, and they can go out and spread the love. That's how I think it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
That's it, man. Let the ball bounce. Sports Talk Radio, man. Your guy Dre Bailey.
Sherman, the building.
Yeah, man. Big ups to Bill Logan. Out doing this thing, getting that extra chippers in his walletto. And JT Bly, I think, used Yeah, I think he used Waleto in a sentence, and I'm going to try to find. He said, "Where was John Waleto this season?"
And where will he be next season?
Woo!
The same place.
Same place.
Same
Well, now
exact
with that,
place.
now with that trade kicker, we'll talk some NBA ball here in a few too.
Yeah, right now, man, Final Four is about to start very soon. And you have your four, I don't want to say usual suspects, but because they're all four of them are in some unfamiliar territory as of late. Auburn, number 5, going up against number 1, Virginia. Wow.
You got the number 1 3-point shooting team in the tournament versus the number 1 defensive team in the tournament against the 3-point shot. You know it's tough though.
Don't be afraid, man.
Because
Don't be
Virginia
afraid.
is
Don't be afraid.
be
Go ahead.
afraid,
Boy, that was the
baby.
cut. That was the cut. Go ahead, man.
Hey, Virginia is notorious for letting us down. Remember, they got bounced in the first round as a number 1 seed last year, right? Now their talent is showing who they are, right? But as good as you are on defense, when a team or a player is hot from the 3, they're just hot from the 3. And if Auburn gets hot, I can't see, because Virginia can't score with them like that. Even in the ACC tournament, my Florida State Seminoles got hot from the 3-point line and bounced Virginia out. So if Auburn gets any heat going, and they got several players now, their best player is out. You remember he tore his ACL in the round of 8 or 16, I can't remember. But if they get hot, Virginia's being bounced, and if they get hot, I see Auburn winning this entire tournament.
Well, right now, the casinos have Auburn plus 6.5. Woo! They got the money line on that game at plus 270. It's crazy, bros, that this is the sportsbook already know it's going to be a close game.
6.5 is a lot in a tournament game at this level. That's a lot of points. When these games here usually come down to the wire, that's a lot. And I mean, they're basing it because Auburn's because Virginia's a number 1, right? But I would put my money on Virginia. On Auburn just to cover
6.5.
Yeah.
Or minus 6.5 for Virginia.
Oh, I'll put it on Auburn. I'll take the 6. 6.5. Yeah.
Whew. I don't know, man. I think everything about me is saying that Auburn is going to win this game because they're hot. They're the hottest team in this Final Four.
I mean, think
not
about
saying
who
that
they
every
beat.
team isn't hot, but we're talking about Auburn. No one picked Auburn to be in your top 4, and if you did, please call the show. We're going to know your line. We have the lie detector set up. 702-608-3259, man. We'll be able to tell from a voice recognition program if you're lying.
And
Unless Vegas says Vegas knows something, it's a conspiracy theory.
You know
I'll
what?
put money on Auburn. No, I definitely will. And they're not going to be scared of Virginia. I mean, they bounced Kentucky. They've beaten Tennessee.
But can he go all the way without Okiki?
Oof, that hurts.
If they would have him, I would pick them to win it all. It's hard, man. I hope they can. Like, I
that's
really
their-
want them to.
That's their best player.
But,
and
man,
he's out,
that's
so.
tragic. But, hey, win it for him.
I'm going to take Virginia minus the points.
What's the points?
6.5.
Minus 6.5.
It's a lot.
I'm going to take
That's a whole lot, especially for the way these games have been.
Virginia Dovo.
Overtimes and
Right. And Virginia plays tight games because they don't score a lot. So their games are tight anyway. That's a lot to me.
Yeah.
I got a question on the other game. Mark,
Do it.
You guys
What do
don't
you-
using my real name on this show.
His government name.
government,
My government.
how you feel about Chris Beard and Texas Tech?
Come on, man. I'm not on camera, so I can do this. But honestly, man, I give the dude props. Like, I'm not even mad. Like, when I read this story,
Give the story. Give the background.
So the
for those
story
who
is
don't
he
know.
came to UNLV. He was hired as their coach when we fired David Rice.
Yes.
And he was actually hired like, wow, okay, cool. We got a coach that's going to finally do something. Finally bring the program back to relevance. A week later, Tubby Smith, I believe, was the coach. Wait, who was the coach?
I don't remember who was at Texas Tech at that time.
I think it was somebody high profile that ended up getting a job somewhere else. And that
Over
was
at Texas Tech.
Yeah, that was the surprise. So he left. So now they have a job opening. Chris Beard had worked at Texas Tech for a long time as an assistant from the area. That's his dream job.
Right.
2 weeks later, he's like,
And a little bit more money.
and more money, which UNLV could have,
No, they couldn't have.
but the money
They wouldn't have.
Well, even if they did, the money, if you would have matched the money, it wouldn't have mattered because you're matching the money, but you're not matching my dream job.
Right. You would have to go above and beyond.
Exactly.
More
financially.
money.
Yes. But they didn't do it. And he ends up going to Texas Tech. 3 years later, has them in the Final Four. While 3 years later, we fired the coach that we hired to replace him.
And they
And he
that
won
Texas
Coach of the Year.
Yes.
Coach of the Year, and has his team in the Final Four, could win a national championship. Not saying that same exactly thing would have happened with UNLV, but he is the type of coach that would have brought UNLV where they're consistently in the top 25 every year.
Right.
Well, since we're on the Texas Tech and Michigan State game, I'm gonna go ahead and throw this out there. I'm gonna take Virginia, like I said. You going with Auburn? You going with Virginia too, right? Quan?
I'm going Auburn.
I'm going Auburn. I guess
Yeah.
I'd be the
So
lone
two
wolf
Auburns
today.
here.
Be the lone wolf. Texas Tech, in my opinion, and I've said this multiple times on the show, is the best defensive team
Really good.
in this Final Four now. And I think defense turns to easy offense, and they just are on a roll right now, man. Texas Tech, man, and the way that they beat the last team that they played, it was more than 6, that's for sure. And so I think if you catch any team on a good night that's kind of hot, you can get beat. And I think that game with Michigan State, so now I'm thinking defensive team leads to great offense against a great coach on the other end who can play chess all day. Ouch.
That's the thing about it.
Ouch.
Because Tom Izzo, I never hear about top recruits going to Michigan State. I mean, they produce some NBA players, but you never get these one and dones over there. And he comes up with schemes to be able to take away your best asset. When we talk about defense, he's probably the best defensive and strategy coach remaining.
Ooh.
I don't know if Texas Tech, if this game is too big for them because it's the Final Four. And a lot of players, we got to the Final Four and got comfortable with that.
Yeah, I don't see Texas Tech doing.
Your coach just won, Coach of the Year.
Yep.
Tom Izzo and Michigan State, that's a veteran-laden team.
But wouldn't Michigan be the one to be more comfortable getting to the Final Four because they really could be there? You know what I'm saying? All the other two teams, Auburn and Texas Tech, weren't supposed to be there.
Yeah, but you get there and it's like, oh man, you get a little starstruck.
We have nothing else to prove type of deal. Like, we got this far. Like,
it's a thought.
yeah.
I see Michigan State. They just find ways to win. They find a way to win. So I see Michigan State advancing.
Ooh.
I got Tech.
Ooh. Can we come back to the end of the show and get mine? That's how close it is.
And it started right now, man. We got Auburn and Virginia right now. It's a 4-2 game, but my live stream is 3-0.
It's all good. It's all good, man. Good, man. I'm going to give you that one at the end of the show, but I think this Final Four is going to be good. And I think whatever the championship is, however it's swung, is going to be a great one. I'm talking about last shot one, like we had with the North Carolina game, man. Ooh, it's going to be good, man. Switching up to a little NBA, man. Paul Westphal Sidney Moncrief.
There you go. Look at Sher, man. He's so happy with Sidney Moncrief in there.
Bobby Jones, and we're not talking about the gospel singer.
Bobby Jones Gospel Hour.
Right? And Vlade
Flapper
Divac makes the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame.
No C Webb.
Yeah, I don't think C Webb should have made it, just like Tracy McGrady, whatever, or Grant Hill. I don't think none of them should have made the. I can see whatever, man. They're just letting anybody in at this point. I just gotta be candid about it.
You just gotta sign up, right?
Vlade Divac, man. Vlade Divac.
Sign this waiver form.
Yeah, I'm signing. Vlade Divac, a Hall of Famer?
Definitely.
Stop it.
It's Basketball Hall of Fame. People need to quit equating NBA to being all of basketball. Vlade is a Basketball Hall of Famer. Naismith, Basketball Hall of Fame, 1,000% definitely.
He's only saying that because he was a Laker.
I'm not saying that because he's a Laker. I'm saying that because he's the first international player to all these people playing now international. Vlade was
The one who
he was the pioneer of that.
He was the pioneer.
1,000%.
He had a full career. He had a full
came in before
career.
Petrovic.
Yeah, he had a full career in
He was the first European drafted in
So
the
because
first
he was
round.
okay, so Jeremy Lin's a Hall of Famer then.
No, he's not a Hall of Famer.
He's not the.
Stop it then. Stop it.
No, now stop it.
Vlade Divac is not a Hall of
He's definitely a Hall of
Famer, man.
Famer. Not an NBA. If he was an NBA Hall of Fame, no.
And neither is Paul Westphal, damn it.
Paul Westphal was.
He did a lot of stuff. Player, coach, everything.
Ooh, coach, he wrote stats.
I didn't even say it like
He was in the
that.
film room.
I didn't even say it like that.
He picked up the dirt right before they laid the foundation.
Didn't say that.
Shut it up. Paul Westphal and Vlade Divac. I don't even, man.
Vlade is definitely a Basketball Hall of Famer.
This class right here is
It's a weak
pretty
class.
weak. It's pretty weak. Which is why Chris Webber should have been in it. It's just, it would have been, took it right over the weak edge.
Look, Vlade was a pioneer, and oftentimes just being that pioneer is what the determining factor is.
And he was
that's
a baller
what-
in the international ball.
and right, he was internationally, he was dominating back then. That's why they had to bring the whole, the dream team together, because international players like Vlade was balling back then. So, oh man, stupid.
Vlade Divac.
Yeah,
Was he a good basketball player?
definitely.
Yeah.
Hall of Fame worthy? Let's just keep it there.
For Basketball Hall of Fame, yes.
Playing the game.
I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna lean toward you on this. I don't think that this was a great Hall of Fame class, and my Sidney Moncrief is in it. And if before this you would have asked me, was Sidney Moncrief a Hall of Famer?
No!
The answer
But
is
you'll
no.
take it. Thank you.
I'm gonna take it because I'm a Milwaukee Bucks fan.
As you
so I'm gonna
should.
take it.
You have to take it.
But
Listen, we gotta take this phone call.
Phone call.
I take that.
Sorry.
Phone caller, you're on the air with Let the Ball Bounce with your guy Dre Bailey and Sherm.
In the building. Caller. You there?
What up, man? What the Waleto is going on, man? We got come out, Vlade Divac, Hall of Famer.
Dave in the Bay Area, man. Is that what you're calling about? Is Vlade Divac a Hall of Famer?
Billetera.
Let's see. I think I could be wrong, but it is 15,000 year career. He only had like 3 double-doubles. Never grabbed more than 10 rebounds, and he was like 8'14". So I don't get how he's even close to being a Hall of Famer.
Exactly, man. I got somebody else in the world who agrees with me.
Yeah, but he gave fake stats too, so.
But I do, he did. He was one of the first international players, along with Drazen Petrovic. But he died in that car accident in Germany. So I get him bringing the international exposure
Conspiracy.
to the game. But I just don't see conspiracy. I just don't see him being as a Hall of Famer. C. Webb, I could see as a Hall of Famer. None of you dogging him. But like the dude said earlier, it's about the overall game of basketball, and what he did with that Fab Five team, I think that definitely puts it in.
What do you do with them?
Minus the timeout.
1
Yeah.
year in the timeout.
Yeah.
Can't give that Hall of Fame right there for that timeout. You can't give that Hall of Fame ever.
Yeah.
They didn't win nothing. He wasn't there
And
long
they got
enough.
all their credentials taken away because of him.
And that's how I felt about Grant Hill saying that he's not a Hall of Famer too, because he played 2 or 3 years for the Pistons before he got hurt, and he was a super shell of himself. Now the only thing he should be in the Hall of Fame for is napping up to Tamia, because she fine. But in the basketball, and I don't even think he was the best one on his Duke team. Christian Laettner was.
You think Thomas Hill was better?
Christian Laettner was the best player on that team, and Bobby Hurley a second. So yeah, he's not a Hall. Woo! He's not a Hall of Famer. I see, huh, Dave? In your eyes.
Oh, probably not.
What about Sidney Moncrief?
Is he the receiver for the Falcons?
Come on, man.
How you gonna diss my guy Sidney Moncrief? He used to lock down defenders back in the 80s.
What about Paul Westphal?
That's just it was just a weak class. You had to put some people in there. You got to make something of the.
So you don't throw nobody in. Nobody makes it this year, is what they should have said. Nobody makes it this
Yeah,
year.
if you wanted like credibility, if you don't want the credibility for the Hall of Fame, you just say, hey, no, there was no Hall of Famers, so we're not going to have the ceremony this year. Just no Hall of Famers. Everybody would be like, oh, that's cool because like at least you like respect the ones that are in the Hall of Fame, and you're not just trying to make this event.
Listen, man, you guys are being disrespectful. Paul Westphal in 823 NBA games averaged 15.6 points a game, 1.9 rebounds, and 4.4 assists.
Is that more than Worthy?
Hall of Fame stats.
Is that more than Worthy? He's better than Worthy?
He is.
I mean, James. Look,
Wow. He gave out stats that are better than Worthy's stats.
And he was a point guard and a shooting guard.
there's a lot of people who got better stats than James Worthy.
That
When you
hurts,
look
man.
back to it, man, big game James. I don't know if he was so big game now. Oh,
Tell him that in game 7 of the 88 finals.
yeah. Listen, James Worthy really he if he went to any other team, he would have been the man. But it was just a crowded Lakers squad back then.
Dave, man, you are super serious. Why do you think that Chris Webber should have made this class?
See what?
Yep.
You know what? I just think those obviously those runs that he had with the Sacramento Kings, taking into the fact that his college career, and I thought he had a pretty good start to the season, rookie year and all that. So that's kind of why I would have put him in there.
Wow. His credentials are low.
Because
Because he had, like, what did he do with the Sacramento Kings, though? How good of a run was that? That wasn't like a championship run. They got to one Western Conference final.
Right.
Lost in the second round the year before that. The first round the year before that. That's not a great run. College? Like, come on, man. Yeah, it was.
got him out.
They were popular.
1 year or was it 2 years in Michigan?
He was 2 years in
It
Michigan.
was 2 years in Michigan. Still resulted in no championships.
And the second year is the year they were supposed to win. They weren't supposed to win the first year against
Right.
Duke.
They were freshmen.
You're not beating Duke. You're supposed to beat North Carolina with George Lynch as your best player.
Yeah, and
And Eric Montross.
Eric Montross.
Chris Webber lost to Eric Montross.
Yes, and George Lynch. Don't sleep on that team, though.
Dante Calabria.
He's a Hall of Famer.
Wow. Dave.
George Minisoff, Hall of Famer. First 8 foot in the league. He opened
That's what I'm saying. You're going to put
the
everybody in the
door
Hall.
for all the other Giants.
Sean Bradley. Throw him in there, too.
Oh man,
Antonio Davis.
for getting
Throw
dunked
him
on
in there. Charles Smith. Throw him in there, too.
Charles Shackelford.
I'm just saying, man.
Charles in charge.
It's pretty weak. Dave, man, we appreciate the phone call. Hey, guess what, man? I'll see you in what 3 weeks?
Back.
Yeah, I'll see you in 3 weeks.
Yeah, man.
You guys have a good one, man.
All right, you
Yeah,
too,
man.
man. Appreciate
Thank
the
you.
call.
So-
yeah, man. I'm not the only one.
This was a weak Hall of Fame class for the NBA. We know that.
Maybe the weakest we've ever seen, though.
Yeah,
That was pretty bad. When I saw that across the timeline on ESPN, I was like, why
did they even put it on TV? Like, just why do you even put it on the ticker?
You have to.
Don't even give those speeches. Just be like, hey, you're inducted. Like, you're going in.
So you give them like a certificate and a handshake?
Just give them a little gold star.
And a ribbon.
A red ribbon for first place, a blue ribbon for second place.
Yeah. The same type of ribbon they gave the pig on Charlotte's Web. Just put it right on them. Boom.
Here you go, Vlade.
Here, Vlade. Good looking.
Oh, man.
I just don't see Vlade Divac a Hall of Famer. Now, he should be, have a plaque outside of the international room of Hall of Famers. Maybe he should have a plaque. Almost like a second place trophy type of deal. But Hall of Fame as a basketball player,
he was playing professionally 4 years before he even came into the NBA.
So he was pretty much washed up when he came over here and just really did really well.
I didn't say that at all, but thanks for putting those words in my mouth. He was still super young when he came into the NBA. Like a lot of players, we saw Luka Doncic. He's been playing professionally this is his 5th year and first year in the NBA. So
he's been playing pro ball since he was 14.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But a lot of European players were. Drazen was doing that at about 15 and stuff like that too. So internationally, I know why Vlade is in it. If it's NBA Hall of Fame, he wouldn't be in it. And you got your boy on the line.
Who's that, man? Thanks for calling Let the Ball Bounce Sports Talk Radio, man. Is this Goose?
Yes, indeed, it is. What's popping with it, fellas?
What's up with it, man?
What up, man?
You need go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, man, I'm reporting live from Legoland, bro. San Diego, California, man. Enjoying myself, man. It's my daughter's 5th birthday. Got my son out here, wife out here, man. We just enjoying the good weather out here in San Diego, bro.
You couldn't celebrate her birthday a week late? Not on Final Four weekend?
No. We on
sure
time.
Can't.
We on time. whole weekend, man. I heard y'all talking about Vlade Divac, man, and there's absolutely no reason why. And I get it. I understand that, they send an international, contributor or player to the Hall of Fame every year, but this just further cements my reservation about the Naismith Hall of Fame. It just further cements it.
Vlade Divac led his team to the finals his rookie year. To the NBA finals, he led his team.
They lost in 5.
I don't care what he did. I don't care what he did. I don't care what he did.
So what in the Hall of Fame? So Goose, what do you think about?
I don't care what he did.
What do you think about Sidney Moncrief making the Hall of Fame?
Now, I would put Sidney Moncrief in the Hall of Fame over Vlade Divac.
Well, they both made it. So
give me a choice.
Not a choice.
Give me a choice. I mean, Sidney Moncrief would go.
Not over Vlade. I'm just saying, is he Hall of Fame worthy?
I agree with Sidney Moncrief being Hall of Fame worthy. Yes.
I don't.
Yeah. I do.
Nah.
I do. Look. Off of some of the names that we've seen, Sidney Moncrief gets in, bro.
Nah.
Off of some of the names we've seen.
And some of the names we've seen that I've had reservations about, they shouldn't be in either. I'm actually thinking about starting a petition to get those guys removed from the actual Hall of Fame. Jeez, man. Grant Hill has to come out, bro.
Oh, yeah, man. It's bad. It gets worse and worse every single year, doesn't it? It gets worse and worse, bro.
Man.
Like, what can you do?
They might as well put Stephon Marbury in there.
Next year, Dan Dickow is making it.
Oh yeah. Steph doing that. Vaseline Steph? You talking about Vaseline Steph?
Man.
Oh, he's doing. Vaseline Steph.
Hey.
Petroleum jelly Steph? Oh, he's in.
This man, look, first off, I already have reservation about coming to the show because of the disrespect to Guru, right? And then Sherm completely disrespects Dan Dickow. Come on, man. That's my guy.
I know. That is Dre's guy.
Hey, look. Dan Dickow did his thing when he was at UNLV, bro. He really did. Dan Dickow did his thing, bro. He did. All
right, Sidney Moncrief, real quick. Let's get back to that. 15 points, 1 steal, 3 assists, 4 rebounds per game for his NBA career. So that's Hall of Fame worthy.
Right.
Hall of Fame worthy numbers. 5 All-Star appearances.
According to those numbers, no. Not according to those numbers.
Okay, what numbers we using
looking
for that?
at who's gotten in, bro. Looking at who's gotten in. Wait, come on, man. Give it to him.
Well, that's what they saying about.
Look at who's got in. Give it to him.
That's what they saying about Vlade. Look at who's in. Give it to him.
It can't be based on that.
Nope.
This is where some of the numbers and context have to come in and play a part, because if that's the case, then you.
I just hate that we take numbers and context for some people, but other people you don't. Like that. Right. That's what confused. What made bring the stats, bring the numbers. So you bring the numbers, and then but for someone else it's low. Oh, but what he did, it's like, well, are we doing numbers or not? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know.
Right, because
I understand your point, but I just don't like.
That's like me too, because this year, y'all said LeBron numbers didn't matter this year, so it didn't matter about the numbers. So I get it. I don't understand how people are using numbers for some and some numbers for the rest. It doesn't add up.
Right.
But the context is
right.
He's a disgrace.
You get a lot of people that throw championships in there.
Yeah. Sidney Moncrief won a lot of championships in Milwaukee.
So did Robert Horry.
Right, you get championships, individual accolades,
I know you know.
I mean,
just saying.
He didn't play with Oscar and Lou.
Let Robert Horry in there.
And Derek Fisher.
Honestly, with the way the Hall of Fame is going, Horry will be in the Hall of Fame. We'll talk the way. If Sidney Moncrief and Vladdy are in the Hall of Fame, Robert Horry's in the Hall of Fame.
So will Derek Fisher.
Ron Harper. And I agree with that. I agree with that.
I do not want to watch Ron Harper's Hall of Fame speech.
It's tragic.
I'm real interested to see what some of these dudes would actually say when they got up on the podium, bro.
Well, let me tell you what Ron Harper.
I'm real interested to see.
Well, I'm gonna tell you what Ron Harper would say.
Ever had a dreams that you him to do, you would do.
That is horrible. That's horrible.
It's tragic, bros.
So you were going there.
Hey, because if he didn't play it, I was going to do it, so I'm glad.
For all of y'all watching right now on our Facebook Live, if you haven't, I shouldn't even do this.
Do it. It's too late. You already went in.
Just YouTube Ron Harper speeches, and you'll see post-game interviews, etc., and you'll see what we're talking about.
So, Goose, since we got you on the phone, man, this Auburn and Virginia game is on, man. It's a close one so far. They're giving Auburn a +6.5 in this game, man.
Dang, man, we should have took that.
Yeah, man, and I say take it. If you didn't, I would have told you to take it. Take that 6.5 with Auburn. Yeah, dog. Yeah,
they scored too much.
I looked at the matchups prior to, the Final Four, and they had Auburn as the underdog out of the four at 7-1 favorite, or 7-1 odds. And I looked at that as a betting man, saying, I mean, it wouldn't hurt to put $50-$100 on that and see what happens. Wouldn't hurt.
Yep.
Wouldn't hurt. Auburn's a great basketball team. We've seen that. We saw what they did throughout this tournament.
Yeah.
I can't stress it enough. I was definitely afraid the night before and the night of when they played against my North Carolina Tar Heels.
Yep.
And now you guys see why.
You should have. They
play a super weird style. It's a super weird style that they play with the three fast guards that can all shoot. And they dump it into two big power forwards, 6'8", 6'9", that got back to the basket game. Like, what can you do with that?
How much do you think the absence of Okiki is going to affect them, though?
As far as that particular style, I mean, it's taking them to the Final Four.
Yeah.
I mean,
it hasn't slowed them down.
At this point, hey man, shoot your shot like they've been doing. Literally, they've been shooting a shot literally, and it's gotten them to the Final Four. Shout out to Bruce Pearl, man. He got them boys balling, bro.
Yeah, he do.
He got them moving.
Yeah, and that.
But in my heart, I gotta go with Michigan State though. In my heart's telling me Michigan State to win the entire thing.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Ooh, that's who.
We'll see. We'll see.
I got Michigan State and Auburn.
Listen, man, Magic Johnson doesn't deserve Michigan State winning.
No.
Does Magic Johnson deserve anything at this point?
Not right now. Not this year.
Y'all are so.
Whoa, no, not right now. He doesn't. Yeah, Magic
did
doesn't deserve anything. He should tell us how he got rid of that disease. That's what he should tell us. I think that's the only thing that should be on his plate right now.
He got rid of that disease like he got rid of Zubac.
Dude,
for nothing.
Well, that was LeBron's fault. LeBron wanted Zubac out, I guess.
Yikes! Dump him that quick, huh?
You know the crazy thing
take
about
the meds and gain weight, huh?
Man. He did something. What? So Goose, while we got you on the phone, then tell me then, the season is over. The season is practically over, right? It's definitely over for the Lakers. What do y'all need to do this offseason to get back to where your expectations of your Lakers are? I know Laker fans are let the ball bounce is half Laker Nation.
Half.
More. So what do y'all need to do? What moves made coaches, front office personnel, players do you feel y'all need to do to get back to relevancy or contention?
Well, first you got to get healthy. I mean, if you're not healthy, you can't be on the basketball court. You can't win basketball games. So you got to get healthy. Number one. Number two. I mean, Luke has one foot out of the door. They're just waiting for the season to end, pretty much, and to see, who they actually want to go with. The names that's been thrown out there, some of them are just ridiculous. I don't even understand a lot of these names. A lot of them don't even make any sense to me. These names that they're throwing out there, but they need to find somebody that can ingratiate themselves into the Laker culture and can bring winning back to Staples Center.
Well, a lot of these names being thrown out there might actually keep Luke in LA though, because some of these names are not impressive at all. And when they look at it, they might look like, you know what, we're not going to get anything better, and we're still going to have to pay Luke Walton. So do we still want to pay Luke Walton and get a coach that's at his same level?
Right, and I
don't know if they'll do that.
That's the thing that Jeannie and Rob and Magic have to decide amongst each other. You know what I'm saying? Do they want another year of Luke with these droopy, sad faces on the sideline, or do they want to eat up the rest of his contract and bring somebody that's going to breathe some life into the organization?
That might bring life into the organization.
Might. I mean, that may have a better chance than Luke Walton of breathing life into the organization. How about that?
Yeah.
So we'll see. I mean, because at this point, I'm not gonna say anybody can be better than Luke Walton, but anybody can be better than Luke Walton at this point, bro. After what we've seen.
Well, you just said the injuries, and then you put on Luke. So is it Luke's fault everybody was hurt though?
It's LeBron's, man. I thought you knew.
Yeah, we did.
No, man. Nah, man. We ain't supposed to talk over, man. But I mean, I remember, you know, when Steve Kerr was out and Luke was the assistant in Golden State
with a healthy
and
team.
he won all those ball games, and folks were like, see, he can coach. Well, any one of us on this phone and anybody that's on the Facebook Live could have coached that team to what was it, 30 wins in that span when Steve Kerr was out, 25 wins, something like that, whatever it was.
It's a well-built machine,
that, man, with the talent that they have. Bro.
Yeah, just got
any
to
one of us
monitor.
could have done that, bro. And, come on, that's it. That's all you had to do was monitor.
That's
You
it.
have to coach them. You just have to monitor.
Yeah, because what did your boy Steve Kerr say? He said half the time they coach themselves.
Yep.
Half the time, he gives them the clipboard, bro. We saw that. We saw that live in living color. He gave the boys the clipboard, man.
He did. I would
Come on,
say
man.
this.
Andre Iguodala, Draymond Green.
But what y'all need to do, and I don't think Laker fans want to truly admit this, it's got to start from the listen, Magic Johnson is a face, almost a figurehead. But he's not a wheeler and dealer and negotiating when it comes to NBA trades and contracts. And according to The Athletic, NBA teams do not like Rob Pelinka. He was an agent before.
Wow.
And they said that he was a very tough agent, and teams didn't like his negotiation style when he was negotiating contracts for his players. So when he became the head GM, they were like, teams don't want to. They don't want to negotiate with him.
That's Kobe's guy, though.
That's Kobe wanted him hired because that was Kobe's best friend. So Kobe. Now people talk about conspiracy theories. People get on me when I brought that up 2 years ago. Let alone this offseason and coming in last offseason and this offseason. I was like, how do you make a agent the GM? You may put him in a front office position, but you got to have skills with trying to negotiate player trades and acquisitions, not just your own player's contract. So according to The Athletic, teams don't even like to pick up his calls.
So peep this out, Goose, and you can answer this, and then we'll let you go because you are supposed to be spending the entire day with your daughter. I know she's, she wants that young attention because my 5-year-old, when all three of them were 5, man, that's all they wanted. So let me ask you this: Rob, as a GM, remember the GM that they got rid of in Cleveland?
Yeah, David Griffin.
I would love to.
You don't think David Griffin would be a great fit for this Los Angeles Lakers team? With a Magic Johnson overseeing him, allowing him to make certain moves, that is the trade of the century.
Sure. Look,
And LeBron would like that too.
This is the first time. Yeah, this is the first time we've seen Rob Pelinka in action like this, man. And I'm not an apologist by no stretch of the imagination, though, at all. But if he can't get it together by year 2, bro, he got to go. Y'all already know my MO, bro. If they're not proven, if they're not proven, they gotta go. They gotta go. I get rid of them, bro. I don't have no problem getting rid of them. None.
Well, Goose, I'm gonna break down here before we end the show. I'm gonna break down some options that your Lakers should do this off season. I'll probably post it back on the page, so I don't know if you'll still be listening or if you'll be with the baby, but tune back in because I'm gonna give about 3 or 4 options that the Lakers should do to improve themselves going into next season. So you definitely have to stay tuned or come check back in. So I'm gonna bring some heat.
Okay, I'm on you, man. And I don't know if I said this, bro. Did I say Dan Dickow went to UNLV, bro?
You did, but we let it slide. We let it slide, baby boy. We let it
No,
slide.
didn't he go to? He went to Gonzaga.
Yes, he did.
Why did I say
Yes,
he
he
went to UNLV, bro? Who was I thinking of?
Probably the Texas Tech coach who took the UNLV style over to Texas Tech, and now he's turned them into the UNLV team
Is
that
that
should have
what it
been in the
was?
Final Four.
Unbelievable.
We knew.
Unbelievable. Yeah, Dick out, man, Gonzaga, and he went to Washington for a minute, if I'm not mistaken.
You talking about the
He went to
Wizards?
Washington for a second.
Yeah, the Wizards. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was my guy, man. Ooh, that was my guy.
Unbelievable, man. Yeah, Dan Dickau, man.
Yeah.
Shooter. Jimmer Fredette before Jimmer Fredette.
Lot
Dan
quicker,
Dickau.
better point guard. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, no doubt, man.
Hey man, enjoy that San Diego weather, and man, I know it's about 79, 80 degrees right there by the water. How dope is that?
It's beautiful. It's beautiful. I mean, and it's crazy because Legoland like basically sit right on the water too. It's crazy, man. This breeze coming through here, man. It's super dope, man. Enjoying this time, man, with your family, man. So
You do that, man.
y'all,
Give everybody
y'all hold it down in the studio, man.
give everybody our love out there, and
Absolutely.
we'll definitely see you back when y'all get back in town.
Yes, sir. Safe travels,
No question.
my guy.
No question, man. Y'all be easy, man.
You know
Hold
it.
it down.
You know it. Goose Thomas in the building, man. Spending time out there with his daughter in San Diego, at Legoland, right on the water, man. Beautiful weather, man. Beautiful scenery, and just your family at touch, man. That's great, man. But look, David Griffin.
And isn't he about to interview with another team? I saw
It was a couple, but I know the Phoenix Suns. He used to be a GM there, and they're void of a GM.
I'm gonna tell you this: if Magic if he would do that, that would completely shake things up. Because I think that
you need a likable guy in there to be GM, like he was saying.
I think a lot of players respect and like Griffin.
But beyond the players, a lot of other GMs. You have to have respect with the other GMs and other teams in there. And you're right. If Plinka doesn't have that,
right,
you're not getting deals done.
What the Athletic said was that because Rob Pelinka's been there a few years now, and there's been no major deals. And they brought in Magic Johnson to be that likable guy. But here it is, you got a guy that they don't want to take calls from, and you got a likable guy who don't know the trading aspects of it. So you're still not moving forward.
Yeah.
But that's also one report too that you
right,
can't
and you can't
take everything. But they haven't been there that long, to be honest, because they came in halfway through a season. When they fired Mitch in Jim.
Yeah.
So, listen, if there weren't injuries, Lakers were number 4. We talked about this. They were number 4 before these injuries happened with LeBron. If that never happened, we'd be looking at them like, oh, look what Magic and Rob did. Look what Luke did. You know what I'm saying? They'd be 4 or 5 maybe going into the playoffs right now without LeBron getting hurt.
You see what I'm saying? If LeBron didn't get hurt, look what Magic did. Look what Luke did. Look what Rob did. Not look what LeBron did. But
that's what I'm saying. Like the narrative turns if you.
It's always gonna turn negative with that way. But what I'm saying,
that wasn't negative. I was saying the perception people are gonna say about these players or these GMs or whatever.
Of course,
like you could be a great GM if your team wins, but you might actually not be a good GM because LeBron got you that championship in Cleveland. You know what I'm saying?
If they stayed on their current pace, this Lakers team would, if healthy, they were on pace to win 49 games. That puts them at 6th in the West. And we don't know how they would have gelled even more going into the playoffs. That's how they were even before the midpoint of the season.
But I think this had to be done this year. They weren't going to win a championship this year. They weren't beating Golden State. So I think this had to happen because look what Lonzo is doing right now. I think his game is going to be better because of all the changes he's making.
What changes is he making?
What is everything?
Like what?
Everything. He got rid of everybody. So that's a lot of changes.
I'm talking about until I can see the changes that Lonzo has made on the actual basketball floor.
That's fine, but you have to start with the business side of it. This is a business. If you don't think the business part of it,
I'm not going to give Lonzo any excuses, man.
I thought he looked good. I saw him play better this season defensively. Now he missed open shots, and he may never be a great 3-point shooter. But I saw him. Then he had a couple games where he had 3 or 4 threes.
What is it? Is it his health? What is it? Why can't he play more than X amount of games for the Los Angeles Lakers. He missed a lot of games on a ankle injury.
Yeah, but he'd be back if they weren't eliminated from the playoffs.
I think they
he would have been back a long time ago.
I think they shut him down.
They shut him down before LeBron. So my thing is, I'm looking for some type of consistency. There's no consistency with the young players on the court, off the court. I mean, where's the not being injured? Where's the consistency?
You know, there's. I thought it was there. And I'm not a Laker fan, and I didn't watch a lot of Laker games. But I will say this: they looked like they were starting to gel towards something. I watched them beat OKC. I watched them be competitive against Houston.
You watched them beat Golden State.
And I'm in a minority. I know Big Les, Quan to a certain degree, don't really like Luke. I thought Luke was.
I like Luke.
Okay, I thought he was a pretty good coach. I
And
like
he's
his
gonna
style.
be there next year.
I don't think he is. There's too much negativity around him. They're floating out names of other coaches while he's still employed.
Jawan Howard.
If I was Luke Walton, I'd be like, you know what? You over here flirting openly. You're in a relationship with the woman or however it is, and you're flirting openly. I want out.
Lakers been showing they hand all season, and I called it a long time ago. Like, why would they show the whole hand like that right now? You got cats coming to the next practice or the game in their feelings, young dudes,
yes,
feeling a certain type of way that they trade. That on the market was the entire team, including Rob Pelinka. They were going to get rid of for Anthony Davis. Come on, man.
Look, to me, I think there's 4 moves that the Lakers can make this offseason. And probably the biggest one that'll shake everything up and probably impress most of Laker Nation and actually might work out for them. There was a Twitter poll conducted by Fox Sports, and it said, would you want LeBron James traded? Absolutely or not at all? And 61% said absolutely.
Please trade him.
Want LeBron James
so
traded,
great
right? So I looked at that and I'm like, you know what? No matter what happens with the Lakers, there's never going to be satisfaction with LeBron there. Even if he wins, it's not going to be satisfaction, right? Him just announcing that he was going there.
It's going to be Magic. It's going to be Rob. It's going to be Luke. It's going to be everybody else who the Laker Nation is going to project that positive energy on. Besides LeBron,
right?
It was Magic. It was Luke. It was Rob. It was. That's just how it's going to play out. Trade the dude.
So
to the Clippers.
So who? Well, so you to trade. I mean, it's still business. So you would have to trade with a team that's willing to take LeBron. And GMs have already said, look, LeBron is a great talent, but we know he has 2 to 3 years of prime ball, but you also get a lot of baggage with it. Now, I'm considered a LeBron apologist.
And it's that age where you can start developing those consistent injuries too.
Exactly.
Go ahead.
And LeBron comes with a lot of baggage, no doubt about it. There's going to be drama with him regardless. Because he's a great player, for one, so there's going to be media hype, and it also accelerates your team, right? So the expectation. So you're going to have that aspect of it, and you got to trade a comparable contract. So who's really going to do that? So the only destinations I saw, there were 3. One of them is Philadelphia. Trade him back east for Jimmy Butler in a sign and trade. And to me, for the Laker Nation,
do it.
I think that works because you get a Jimmy Butler who's still young. He's still a dog.
I wanted him over in LA, and I thought he would be a great fit in LA anyway.
To me, he fits with the Lakers right there. You can have Lonzo, Jimmy Butler, Ingram, Kuzma, and whatever big man y'all want to throw in there. They can get up and down the court. They can play defense. And you still leave an open max slot available.
He'll chew their ass out, though, too. I'm going to be honest.
And that's the problem. Like, He's not going there with what he did in Minnesota and what he did to Embiid the first month he was there. He's not going. LA is not
really
taking
think that Lonzo Ball and Kyle Kuzma and Brandon Ingram was in their feelings this past couple of months? They really be in their feelings with Jimmy Butler on the team. He will let them have it, man.
But it's a tradable.
He's bringing that Kobe mentality, that Mamba mentality.
Right. I got a couple others too. If you want to stay in this youth movement, though, what about trading LeBron to the Phoenix Suns? See, Phoenix
they can
has
get Devin Booker.
No, because Phoenix wouldn't trade Devin Booker, but Josh Jackson, a young guy, right?
Do it.
He put up 35 and 10 last night. But he's a
real
quick. Caruso put up 32 and 10 last night. But so this is the end of the season
But Caruso is. But Caruso's not a top 5 draft pick like Josh Jackson. Josh Jackson is a top 5 draft pick from 2 years ago, right? So if you're gonna trade LeBron, you're not gonna you trade a star, you're not gonna get fair value. It depends on where your team wants to go. So the Lakers were really big on this whole youth movement, getting young talent under the salary
and keeping their young talent
and having a max slot available for potential big name free agents to come. So you trade a LeBron for some expiring contracts to Phoenix, like a Tyler Johnson, who's not a big name player. He's like a JJ Redick, right? But he's an expiring contract. You package him with a Josh Jackson, and now you got long wings on the outside like another Kuzma, and you can still bring in a free agent, and you can still let go of Tyler Johnson at the end of the season.
And there'll be another Rodney King riot in LA if that happens.
I don't know what for. Y'all don't want LeBron there in the first place.
If
for Josh Jackson,
yeah, please do it.
Come on.
But it's not just that. It's not just that. Think about it. So put your GM hat on, because you're not trading LeBron for Josh Jackson. No different than you were trying to trade Anthony Davis for Lonzo Ball. It's not the two players. It's what it allows it to happen afterwards. So if Kawhi Leonard was truly interested in coming to the Lakers but doesn't want to be there with LeBron, when you get LeBron out, you bring in some more young talent, you have salary cap relief, and now you bring in a Kawhi Leonard, maybe a Kemba Walker, if players truly don't want to play with LeBron James. Those are just some thoughts right there, because if that poll is correct and people are destroying murals and they're booing, then and if he's the cancer that's causing,
and he is,
so why not? Why not? And Jeannie Buss has just said that she walked down to Robin Magic's office and said, "Should we trade LeBron?" Now, you as a Laker fan, you're not the biggest LeBron fan, but you're a diehard Laker fan.
Yeah, you don't trade LeBron. You're not getting anything equal close to LeBron. LeBron, how many triple doubles has he had this year? A lot.
Yes.
Like I said, if he didn't get hurt and miss 20 games, and now even more because he's sitting out, but those 20 crucial games, Lakers would be in the playoffs. I have no doubt about it. So
and they'll be exactly where I thought.
You let teams get healthy. You make minor trades if you have to, and you make major trades if they come up. But you don't trade LeBron, man.
I say you get rid of Brandon Ingram, you go get Bradley Beal. I say you get rid of Lonzo Ball, and I don't trade Kyle Kuzma. He's only untradeable piece over there.
And I feel like Ingram is going to be better than Kuzma when it's all said and done.
And he may. It's the hard part
He's
about
definitely
it
more skilled.
Is can you even trade Brandon Ingram with this blood clot situation? And if is he gonna be? They say it's very curable. The surgery should take care of it.
Yeah, and he already had surgery,
right.
So yeah.
If and what Sam Stewart is saying, he's making a good point.
Mm-hmm.
As far as Lakers being on LeBron 28-8-8. How do you trade that? How can you not be happy with that?
I agree. When I brought that up on this show about 3 weeks ago, I was told by everybody in here that the numbers lie. So you can't bring LeBron numbers up because they lie.
It was all. Think about the highlights that we've seen, even on our page. It's all been lowlights. the mistakes that he's made this that in that Twitter poll. I mean, that's a worldwide poll.
Yeah.
More than 2-1.
They don't love you like that, Bron.
Traded, right? So that's why I brought that up. But if the Lakers decided to keep LeBron, I think this is what you do. You got to forget about Anthony Davis. The Pelicans aren't taking that call, but you can go somebody. You can go get Vucevic from Orlando. The guy's a 20-13.
It's not gonna happen.
Why? Because the Lakers are always trying to go
Hit
for the big
home run.
They always trying to go for the big
I keep
name.
saying get on base. I don't know how many times I got to say that, but
Go get Vucevic. Go get Danny Green, who's a free agent. The dude shoots 42% from the 3-point
they
line.
And they'll
need
definitely
that.
try to get him. I mean, they're definitely going to try to get 3-point shooters around. But listen, you go for Anthony Davis if it's there. But you're right. You don't make that like this is all we're going for. We're not going to look at anything else. Because he will be a free. Here's the thing. He's going to be a free agent in a year now. So now you could wait. If he really wants to be in L.A., you could wait.
And if he doesn't come,
why not make room for Kyrie?
Maybe. But
I want Kyrie. I Kyrie to me is the dude I actually want the most this year, this off season. To be real,
I would go get Danny Green, Marcus Morris, not those shooters.
Not a Morris.
Marcus Morris is a
Not a Morris Chestnut.
No,
the
no, not a
The
Morris.
dude averages 14 points a game, gets a couple of boards, but he can stroke from the out. If you're going to keep LeBron, surround the team with shooters. He's a 4-man who can shoot. You get a Danny Green who's a 3-man who can shoot. If you and you still got Ingram, you still got Kuzma, you still got Ball. So now you got a roster coming off the bench that can steal ball.
Yeah.
We'll see.
But Lakers are still talking about bringing Kobe back. That's Lakers always trying to hit a home run. Go get some pieces that fit.
They want Kobe, man. Kobe right now will come back and average almost 30 points, 9 rebounds, and 2 assists. This is right now.
But didn't he just average 17 in his last season?
I know. I'm just saying that if Kobe came back, he would just be the Kobe of old and give it the Laker fans everything that they've wished they've ever wanted in a franchise. I think that if Kobe came back, he would elevate the team and they would win more games than with a healthy LeBron. I don't believe that, but I was gonna
say, y'all know he's being sarcastic right now.
But you get the people really, really feel like that.
I don't think anybody that actually really pays attention to basketball believes that at all. If they do, they need to just stop watching basketball and delete their social media and join with their wife or their significant other and have a combined social media.
A swinging social media session.
So kind of switching subjects a little bit off of Lakers. I want to go ahead and address that because now we can leave Lakers alone because they're not in the playoffs anymore
At all.
We got to start wrapping it up, too.
Yeah.
What do you think about Russell Westbrook 3 years in a
Hey,
row,
that's great.
triple doubles?
I think that's great that Russell Westbrook has gotten a triple double for 3 years in a row. I'm tired of people saying that he's padding his stats and things like that. Come on, man. It is hard to score in double digits on video games, man. This man is going out averaging double digits in points, rebounds, and assists. If he's padding his stats, he's doing it for the betterment of his team. Come on, man. The man's assist ratio has went up the past 2 years. Before, his scoring has been down. So you're mad at the guy because he's giving you more productivity on the defensive end, on the defensive rebounding, and assists, and he's taking a seat back by bringing his scoring down, so Paul George could really be like the main scorer. What's the issue here? What are we talking about?
People hate greatness today. So whenever somebody does great, they find something to nitpick on. That's how we started the show. And it's the same way when it comes to a LeBron, a Westbrook, a Kobe, a Jordan, or any of the greats. You try to find a reason to knock them off the pedestal that other people have tried to put them on.
Russell Westbrook deserves everything that's coming his way. Bring his Let me tell you what probably happened. He saw that taking OKC to a level where they were not going to go was not going to be by his scoring. We need to get another scorer in here. We need to keep Paul George. We need to keep Paul George's defense because defensively he's a better defensive player than KD was. He only scores 3 or 4 points less than what KD does right now. But it kind of equals out because you're getting better defense from him. Now Russ brought down his scoring and he has upped his rebounding and his assists. Now he's getting everybody else involved. How can you hate on that?
I've never understood the Russell haters at all. Like, that does not make sense.
The boy is a dog, though.
What? Listen, this is the best, 3 years of it. No one's averaged 3 triple-doubles in 3 years in a row. I'm telling you, this is going to be like we talked about Nipsey and Tupac when they die, like they get more famous. Russell Westbrook is going to be more famous and more popular for these 3 years than he is now after his career's over.
I agree.
People are not appreciating what he's doing right now. And you will, like, oh my gosh, wait, some dude averaged a triple-double 3 years in a row? Maybe 4 years. We haven't even seen next year yet. And people hating on him. He didn't get MVP. He only got 1 MVP.
We may be sending an apology letter over to the Las Vegas Gems because she said that Russell Westbrook was top 5 point guard of all time right now.
I mean, if you look at it, he could retire today, and I'm sorry, that's some stats right there, man. And okay, he padded. Like, if you could pad stats and make them that great, cool. Pad them.
Do them.
Because no one else has padded stats that great. Because Ricky Davis padded stats. He didn't do this.
He didn't do that.
And it's not like he's getting 10, 10, and 10.
No.
Exactly.
It's 20, 12, and you know what I mean?
These are impressive stats. If you're only a rebounder, those are good rebounding stats.
Exactly.
If you're only a scorer, those are good scoring stats. If you're only a passer, those are great assist stats. He's getting all of those in one player.
We lived in
That's the haters.
We loved Oscar Robertson 40 years ago. Man, the only triple-double season, and that's what we know him for.
Yeah.
That's what we know Oscar Robertson for. And Russell Westbrook has done it 3 years in a row. If nobody else is out there giving you love, Brody, we giving you love here.
And he's done that while wearing tight jeans. Come on, man. Who wears spandex jeans and does this?
With a Crenshaw shirt on, cuz.
Hey,
It is what it is.
Yeah.
Who
Sometime
can say I'm going to have a 2020 game and go out and actually do it?
Actually do it. Actually do it.
One of 2 players to have a 2020 game behind
Will.
a GOAT, Will Chamberlain. Like, come on.
And we need some of you deadbeat dads out there to pad your stats with your kids.
But none of them are on our group.
I'm just saying. Pad your stats with your kids. Take them to the park more than one time a month.
Go ahead and pad that young child support check with a little extra, or just pay what you're supposed to pay.
Big ups to Chessup in the building. Chessup in the building. I told y'all that story, right? And then we could tell you this story and be done. We appreciate everybody chiming in to Let the Ball Bounce. Sports Talk Radio, man, every Saturday, 6 p.m., every Tuesday, 2 p.m. Sherm is here in the building. I love when Sherm comes, man. It's, he makes me feel a little bit more comfortable because when I'm in here by myself, and no disrespect to Goose or Bill and Mark, man, it's just it's highly uncomfortable.
One more time, Andre.
You feel trapped.
I feel trapped. You know what I'm saying?
You got Bill, Goose, and Mark in.
You got Quan in here, and we have Mark Robeson back here. Actually,
Mark Zuckerberg.
But
Mark.
Look, man, Chessup. I worked with a guy back in Long Beach, and he used to get his check, man, and he was like, "Hey, man, does Chessup ever take money? How much does Chessup take out of your check every month?" And I was like, "Chessup? Maybe he may be talking about taxes." And so I just gave him a percentage of what is taken out of my check from taxes or whatever. He's like, "No, Chessup." I was like, "Let me see your check stub, bros." And he shows me his check stub, and it says CHSUP. I said, "That's child support, dog."
Wow. How much does Chessup take?
True story. You can't even make it up. You can't make a story like that up.
Chessup.
Wow. He had no idea what it was for.
I said, that's child support. What? they taking too much money, and you know, you got into that whole
man.
thing. But yeah, man, spend a little bit more time. Go padding your stats with your kids, your family, your closest loved ones, man. That's really what that matters right now, man. Big ups to everybody who chimed in on the Facebook Live, man. Big ups to everybody who listened to us on the Guerilla Cross app, man. Goose, have safe travels home, man. Bill Logan, let me get some of that money out of that Waleto when I see you, man. And Sherm, man, it's always a pleasure, man. I wish you could be here a lot more. And me and my family gonna keep giving you problems when we see you in the streets.
Billetera. Billetera.